Welcome back. New listeners, welcome. You just tapped into the Whiskey and Wisdom podcast. It's episode number 6, season 3. We back. And as always, man, I'm joined by my good brothers. Tyrone, what it do?
What up, what up?
Mike in the house. How it is?
Hey, man, it is what it's going to be.
Hey, man, look, I was at Harris Teeter's the other day. I thought about you, man. They had them ribs on sale, boy. I was about to hit you up.
Come on, bro. As a matter of fact, we'll talk offline about that. I'm going to try to do something in the next couple of weeks, too. So.
Hey, look, man, we about to, I ain't going to talk about it. Yeah, we'll talk about it offline.
Yeah.
It'd be some ear hustling out here, boy. I'll tell you that much.
What y'all say?
They trying to get coordinates and addresses and
y'all pull up, y'all gonna be missing a thumb and a whole lot more. Y'all pull up with the wrong address.
Hey, talk about it.
Listen, man.
Matter of fact, don't talk about it. Don't incriminate yourself on this.
I'm not.
Hold on.
Yes, sir, man. But this is the Whiskey and Wisdom podcast. Again, I said the regular listeners, welcome back. New listeners, welcome. Since the brothers in here again, as we always do, talk about what we want to talk about. And it wouldn't be the same without them 2 cubes. That perfectly aged libation. And again, as I always say, if you gotta have a cherry, make sure that you add the orange twist to it around the rim. That old fashioned, if you like it, you know what I
mean? Got to.
Hey, man, but we took a little hiatus, but we back again, man. Another episode, another one for your head top. Hey, man, in fact, I'm gonna bring this up. I know we're not talking about the stuff we used to talk about, but I did have a conversation with Mike the other day, and I want to bring this up to the pod because we've talked about this in the pod before. I want to bring to my brother Ty. Somebody's interested in a 3-piece that came out recently. Somebody's a fan of the 3-piece that came out recently. Scared I was too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, man.
He said it can't be him.
It can't be him. I know
it's him.
I was rather impressed with Aubrey. I was rather impressed with Aubrey, man. I said, okay. All right.
I ain't think I ever heard you say that.
Listen, I used to be an Aubrey fan, man, till he started singing. That was pretty much it. That's all. I just need to have some consistency. And like me and Bruce had a conversation, I was like, we both kind of hope this is kind of what we're gonna get, but we don't really know. And I think that's kind of the apprehension with me. Is like, I don't know. Because he does this, he's done this before too. Like he's thrown out a little 3-piece and all of a sudden you get the album, it's like, for me. So I'm hoping this time around, he kind of, if we get more of this, all right, Aubrey. Everybody else on the clock now. So, he gonna put people on notice.
Aubrey hit you with that 3-piece drumstick.
Lemon pepper.
Yeah,
lemon pepper wet.
He actually threw that hot lemon pepper too. You put a little of that buffalo sauce mixed with that lemon pepper. I was like,
hey man, I ain't eat yet, man.
My bad. My bad. No, it was good. It was good though. It was good. I said, little baby really, he really impressed me with that verse, and to kind of outdo Drake is kind of hard to do, for most people that aren't really on that caliber. But he rocked out on that record, man. He rocked out on the record.
Hey man, I just had to poke a little fun at my man, because you don't find it too often when he say something positive.
Damn.
not about that one for sure.
Come on, man.
We could go back and go back and put a show together.
Don't do that.
We could clip a whole hour together.
Don't do that. You ain't got to do that. That ain't necessary. It's not necessary.
You don't do that.
You gotta do that. It's cool. We'll let it go.
One for the head top.
That's all.
For sure.
Hey man, but look.
So
man.
You listen to it in the earphones in the car and everywhere, or
y'all really gonna
let it rock everywhere so far?
I let it rock in the car every day. I went to work this week.
Ooh. Ooh.
Wow.
I had that
Okay.
what's next on repeat. That was the only thing that got me to work on time.
Ooh.
Yeah, man.
Hey man, we
Between
all grow. We all grow when we listen, allow things opportunity,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it
We
might have
all
been my
grow.
headspace too. You know what I mean? I was just in that certain headspace. You know what I mean? I had Harry Fraud with Benny and Larry June also in rotation, so I was kind of listening to some of that this week. But yeah, that Drake record got a lot, especially on the way home when I was finished.
Oh, it'd be a different mode.
I put that West next on. I was headed home.
Oh, so you the reason for all these frequent weather changes, huh?
Listen, if Drake can ride out of Maybach in a snowstorm, I think I can.
Everybody want to change over.
Listen,
They don't know which way they want to
I ain't
go.
gonna lie. Real talk. I wanted to snow so Bruce could have me outside the
Hey,
act.
bro, don't do that. Don't do
Hey,
that.
Bruce, he done put it out there 2 times. We done told him
Stop
1 time
playing with
already.
this.
It better come down
Yeah,
only over there where you
exactly.
at too.
Exactly. I move because we don't play
Don't
that.
bring that this way. Do not bring that this way, bro. I done had enough.
Go ahead and visit Chicago then, bro. Like
No, I listen. I didn't have my experience. You gonna catch
Yeah.
me out there with no more?
Get
No.
your fix. Go
Mm-mm.
ahead, get your fix.
No, I done been to Midwest too long. I don't want them winters no more. I'm good.
Hey now.
Mm-mm. Nah.
While we on the subject, man, I know what Lil Bro been listening to. I already know.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
that's been a joint
Oh,
right
yeah.
now, man. I ain't gonna lie. Every time I get in the car, I put on the at least Tombstone joint.
Yeah,
At least a
Tombstone
quick
hard.
one.
Tombstone hard. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I ain't had to skip, but I'm just used to ride anyway, so I ain't had to skip at all. The story is, you know how you get somebody that continues to talk about the same thing and it sounds the same? It's like he's on the same topics, but it's more of a different story. Like he's on another side of where he started, and you can kind of hear that come through the lyrics.
Hey man, it's powerful when you get in and then his beat selection work too. Cause I get in the car, that chain. Doom,
Yeah, yeah,
doom, doom,
yeah,
doom. It let it go. Let it go.
yeah, yeah,
Come on
for
there with that
sure.
melodic.
He might not like him because he does do a little singing.
Hell yeah. Here y'all go
He
again.
harmonized
Here y'all go again.
quite well, so
Hey man.
Nah, I mean,
he might not be down with the soul fly.
Rock. Oh shit, we
Hey,
go.
look, I already hear it in it. Let me go ahead and save him out there.
Yeah.
Nah,
Hey,
nah, nah. Nah,
let's
nah.
go ahead and bring the JB speaker when we get to the next function. Ty, we gonna get it right.
Nah, listen. Rod's last project was actually pretty dope. I give him that. I give him that. I actually went back and listened to Young Money Young for real, for real. Kind of went back and listened to some of them
All
records.
right, man. That was the Whiskey and Wisdom
Oh my
podcast.
god, man.
Wow. That's where
Yeah,
we going.
man. I go back
What?
and listen to everything, bro. I've been listening
Come
to
on,
everything,
man.
bro. I've been going back and listening to all this stuff. All the stuff I
Hey, look, man. We on positivity. We not talking. Look, I'm definitely not gonna get on here and talk about hometown. So don't. We not gonna do it.
That's cool.
We not gonna
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's stay the
Yes,
course.
All right,
yeah.
man. Today's topic. But no, Mike, you wanted to bring something to the table, man. I'm gonna let you take lead on that.
Listen, man, going through this thing called life, man, decisions are always the ultimate deciding factor in how your path is shaped, right? And all of our paths are shaped before we even got here. So those decisions that we make along that way can alter that path or go the way that it's supposed to go, the way it's not. So um I think a lot of times too, people tend to make decisions, and I don't know if they are making the decisions based off of just listening to their heart or listen to their mind. So I wanted to bring this up to you guys. When y'all are just kind of maneuvering in life, which or just any situation, what do y'all trust more? Do you trust your heart? Do you trust your mind?
I mean, I think you need a combination of both, right? Like, I think we may fall victim to a mistake when we don't include the mind. after the heart is speaking. When you just run off of that and you don't really think about it before you act.
Right.
I think that's what gets us in trouble sometimes. But I think you definitely need both because I mean, your heart is telling you something for a reason. It's just a matter of if it's the correct way to project it or present it, which you need your mind to kind of calculate that piece for you. So I think it's a little bit of both, just a mix of each. I feel like the heart would be a signal to tell the mind how to react. But again, I think we skip the piece of like, I need to think about this first. You know what I'm saying? And we just go ahead and do it. And sometimes it's not always in our best interest.
Yes, I think sometimes me personally, I'm a big person on thought, but the way I maneuver with the thought is powered by the heart. You know what I mean? Like I think
Yeah.
of my situation I want to do or want to change or like a situation I'm experiencing and I practically make the decision like, okay, these are the possibilities. This is where I want to go. And then I let the heart power me through that. And then if I'm in that route and I feel something ain't right, then I listen to the heart and like, hold on, let me back out this situation. Just because
Yeah.
too often a lot of people do stuff and don't think. And when you do that and you don't think, you end up getting situations that you can't get yourself out of. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's almost like a moment of insanity,
Hmm.
I feel like. You know what I mean? Because sometimes if you're not aware of the situation and you just go off of intuition, you get in trouble
That's a
because
fact.
you have an ignorance to something that you might have been blindsided by just kind of jumping out there.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah.
Yeah.
I, you know,
What about you, Mike? What you think?
um, I would tend to agree with both of y'all. I do think a lot of times the heart should always come first, but you definitely want to make sure you think as well too. You want to give that situation that feeling thought. You want to kind of understand why you're doing this, why you're going about it this way. Um, and sometimes you can overthink your situation a little too much too.
Mm,
You can outthink the situation, or you can try to outsmart the situation, not really knowing. Like then you're circumventing your actual feelings in your heart because you think you can overthink yourself to the point where you feel a certain way. Like, you know what? Nah, I'm cool. I know what I'm doing. Really don't. You really don't. A lot of people make decisions based off, just relationships, even work situations. It's kind of like, not really thinking everything through and or sometimes making those decisions trying to avoid having to deal with those situations. Um, so I think, to you
mm.
guys, both y'all points, I do think you have to have a good combination of both. And you have to be able to use both in the same vein. They have to be on the same page. Because the moment your heart and your mind ain't on the same page, you got yourself in a conundrum that you really can't get out of, and it's gonna be difficult. And you're gonna make decisions that
You
you
a
go,
conflicted individual.
yeah, yeah. And listen, we're all nobody's perfect. We're all walking this earth just trying to figure this thing out. Everybody's got flaws. Everybody's got with strength, weaknesses. So it's just a matter of trying to maneuver the best way that you know how, and using those two powerful sources that we have within us to work together to power this thing out. Because you're gonna need it. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's always good to use somebody else's heart and mind as
Mhm.
well, because you might not trust yours enough, both of them enough, for you to make that decision. And that's where your inner circle comes into play too.
Well, I ask y'all this then: Is this choosing the heart or the mind? Is that something that comes with age? Would you feel like? Would you agree that that's something that comes with age?
It should, right? It should, because there's some people that just don't. They go about doing things the way they feel like it, and not necessarily thinking about it. Or they go about things thinking they can maneuver and not necessarily using their heart, because it's like it's all about me. So I would think that in most cases, yes, age should be where you mature enough, your heart and mind mature along the way through experiences where it should be able to work. together seamlessly. But it's everybody's. It's up to the individual too and what they've experienced in life.
Yeah, I think it's I don't know if it's necessarily an age thing, because I know people that I feel are of age and are still struggling with what we're talking about. I feel like it's the individual that is surrounded by uh, some transparent resources that don't mind sharing the information and don't mind sharing some flaws or some things that got them in a bad spot. I think that only helps them to prepare them because they have a real life example and they're related to the real life example in some way, shape, or form. Doesn't have to be a family member, but it's a person. And when you can collide some form of relatability and pass on some experiences, I feel like now once that person is in that situation, because you got people that you know are in situations, but you don't necessarily know them or trust them enough. But if you got somebody that you trust and they're sharing something with you, I feel like it would resonate a little bit different with you, and I feel like you would hold on to it a little bit more and act on it appropriately based upon how that person did right or wrong. Now you have a situation where you can right the ship when you come across or come to that crossroad. So it could be somebody fairly young. If they're exposed to things, and if it's open dialogue and they trust whoever is on the other side of the table. I think trust is a big thing because no matter who's telling me anything, if I don't trust them, I may listen, but when I'm gone, that thought is gone too. So whoever's around and whoever is giving that message, I think has the power to steer that person in the right direction, whether they're young or old.
I feel like I got to disagree. I think this is something I feel like this particular topic is something that's more in the ring of a self improvement thing. Like just because someone teaches you something, if you don't go out and do your own, like within yourself, looking in within to figure out your principles and morals that you want to live by, that I guess what I'm saying is just because somebody teaches you it, you can come to find out that that teaching is incorrect. That's not how I want to live my life. That's not how I want to be because we find it day to day now. Like the world we live in right now. A lot of people were raised and taught things that they 100% disagree against. You know what I mean? And they've come to that by their own self learnings and own being out here and interacting with different people and come to the conclusion that hey, I might have not liked this particular group of people, and then I come to find out that's hateful thinking. I don't want to be like that. You know what I mean? Like I have to have empathy for those people because people are treating them that way immorally in a sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I stressed the person is important, right? Who that person is important. And I also said it doesn't necessarily need to be family. I said it needs to be somebody, and to your point, what you just said, this would be somebody that you would look up to because you feel that you can trust them, and they don't have to give you the right or wrong answer. It's just that they said, "Hey, I was in this situation, not coaching, not teaching, sharing transparency." There's a difference there, because when you're teaching, you're talking at or you're talking to, but when you're in a transparent, relatable, or some form of situation, I got trust for you. Know what I'm saying? I believe what you did, and that person doesn't mind being in a spot where they're vulnerable, right? Like, I did something wrong here. If you come to this place, you can use what I did for greater or for worse. Like, you choose that. But I feel like once we start to get the message from someone that we found out something else about later down the road that we don't really trust, and we didn't go to them, like, we didn't initiate that, then I feel like that's more of what you just spoke of, more of like a, "Hey, I'm a teacher or I'm a coach you." But nah, this is just a that's why I said if it's someone that they have aligned themselves with, and that person is willing to be transparent enough and vulnerable about their wrongdoings and whether they did it right. Really doesn't make a difference whether you did it right or wrong. It's how you share that information. And I feel like that's a tool for success.
I think we're talking two different things, two different types of
I think
situations.
we are.
Because
Yeah.
I'm thinking more of when it comes to yourself doing something for yourself, as opposed to seeking advice. I think you're talking more on that seeking advice or seeking knowledge from something else or someone else. I'm thinking more of what I'm just trying to say is more of doing something or thinking something for yourself as opposed because it's those things that you do for your like self improvements has to come within no matter what was taught. You know what I mean? And self improvement necessarily doesn't come from seeking it from someone else. It's to me, it's in the title, self improvement. So if I see something wrong, I need to improve on that. You know what I mean? And that comes with my morals and principles that I put in place for myself. Um, but I also agree with that point when you do go to seek that that information. You gotta know who you seeking it from, and then like with everything, you can't get everybody that 100%. No one should get the 100% stamp. I'm a firm believer that you should question everything. And when I say question everything, I don't mean like, oh, they lying to me or not. Meaning, if you teach me about real estate from your perspective and you're not the philosopher of it, it's on me to do my own research as well.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, and because we're in an age now where manipulation is at an all time high, and manipulation for profit, and seeking advice from people sometimes can now come with a price tag, or it comes with an ulterior motive. Um, so I'm a lean with Bruce on this. Like that whole self improvement thing has a lot, and you have to also kind of trust your own heart. You have to trust your heart within each experience that you go through to be able to say, can I handle this? Can I deal with this? Can I honestly look within myself to say, you know what? I'm not really treating my mom right. I got to do better with that. I'm not really treating my father right. Can I do better with that? Like, oh, how can I become a better person along those lines? So when people start looking at me, they go, hmm, I like the way he moves. I want to move exactly like him, or at least kind of understand how he does what he does, so that I can embed it in my own train of thought because it fits with what I want to do ultimately with my life and my heart. And this, honestly, based off experience. If somebody could do that, next thing you know, 2 months later, things change. Life happens. You can't predict things that you don't have any control over. And I think that's really the main thing too. Is people sometimes don't realize they have more control than they think. They
I got a question for y'all. Not, I'm sorry, Miami. Go ahead, finish your point.
No, that was it.
Your
That was it.
thought.
That was it. I'm good. I'm good.
All right, this is probably left field. Is it beneficial to emulate someone or to take certain things from a mentor? Because I think the reason why I want to ask this is that I see a lot of people try to emulate somebody, like bar for bar, almost Shang Song style. Like they try to do it exactly like that person, and everything what we find out in life is that everything that works for you don't necessarily work for me.
Absolutely.
So
Mhm.
what I can do is, I don't know, I guess I'm giving up my part of the answer at least. What I can do is take the things that I think are dope that I want to apply to my life and just take that because I don't know what's happening in the house. I don't know what's when doors is closed, how you maneuver, how you act. But at least what I see when when you around people that you don't know, you hospitable, you invite, you try to learn more about people. Like you don't just treat the janitor as the janitor, you treat the janitor as the owner. You know what I mean? Because everybody in your way of living, this is how everybody should be applied. That's the way people should be treated. But just because you are that way don't mean I gotta be the most socially person either. You know what I mean? Like I ain't gotta go out of the way. I just can say please, thank you, and welcome, hello, good afternoon, good morning, all that stuff. What are y'all thoughts on that? Is it something that you need to be strong on, trying to be carbon copies of people, or just taking what you traits that you have from your mentor?
I think it's taking traits. You you don't want you want to be organic, right? And even in a presentation, if somebody's coaching real estate, whatever the case may be, they coaching something, right? When you hear them speaking, you're gonna know if it's them or you're gonna know if they just read it from somebody. Because a lot of times when they're coaching or training or whatever the case may be, they have real life examples to go behind it to help support whatever the topic was. Right. So you can't just read some lines off to me and I'm just gonna believe it. That's just like me creating a PowerPoint presentation and reading it to you when you can read it for yourself because it's on the screen. You gotta have the footnotes. You gotta have the presentation notes. You know what I'm gonna say, my bullet points that I want to build off of what y'all see on the screen. And I feel like if you're not getting that, then your teaching can go in vain because nobody's gonna believe it. They just believe that you're reciting something. It's different when you hear somebody talking and you can almost in a way feel the passion coming through their vocal cords. You know, he really lived that. The way he said that's him. So I can't go up there and say, I've lived through these things because it's not going to sound like I've lived through them, even though I may can manipulate them and throw this in there and throw that example in there. But at the end of the day, the people that pay to get there to see you on stage and talk about whatever you're going to talk about, they're going to pay one time, right? That's to see what you're talking about. They're interested. But if you don't come with what they believe you are about, trust believe that audience is not going to be the same size when you hold your next event. So it's just I think you do need to take away the rights and the wrongs of what your teachings are or lessons, and then you make them your own, and then you kind of figure out how to maneuver in that situation or any other situation. But I think it's important to learn both.
Okay.
And I'll give you an example. As I was wanting to become a retail store manager before I was even in management. I worked at a grocery store. Um, the grocery store is not a big chain. Everybody that's operating that grocery store works inside of the grocery store. So the store manager would walk directly past me. At the time, I'm a bagger and a cart boy, right? So at the time, he would walk directly past me to go tell someone else to give me a task.
Mm,
So, how do I
mm,
feel about your leadership? Like you could have easily said, "Hey, when you finish that, can you do this for me?" But he built himself up so high that this was I mean, the company as a whole was Fortune 500, but not this store
right.
right here. Dude, your office is right there. It's this ain't that big of a business right here. You don't need to delegate it down to that point. So that was a wrong thing that I felt as an employee I would never want a manager to do to me, and I've held on to that. So now when I want to delegate something to somebody, I go straight to them and I tell them the when, the why I want you to do it, and what I want you to do. And it's just little small things. That's why I said you want to take good and bad because you don't want to duplicate the bad if you can help it. And yeah, I think like you said, not taking anything away from it, but I agree 100%. You need to take little bits and pieces and kind of make it your own.
Damn, I mean, Mike, you got anything to add?
No, I mean, honestly, I've been pretty fortunate to have the people, the mentors that I've had, and the people that I've looked up to in my life to be able to tell me the same thing. They never say, "Hey, I know you aspire to be like me, but don't be like me. Be better than me." And I think that's what you have to kind of tell people as a mentor. I think some people take mentorship a little too literal or too opportunistic to try to mold people as in their same vein, and that's not necessarily what mentorship is. mentorship is to help guide people to get them to a particular place that they really want to aspire to be. So when you're a mentor, you should be able to
Yeah.
help and guide people get there, not necessarily kind of making them live or you allowing them to live your life, live their life through you, or you live their life through them. Um, and I agree with both of you guys. You know, you always want to take traits because the thing about life and self improvement is you want to be able to enhance your strengths and you want to be able to understand and help nurture your weaknesses. And so that's kind of where those traits come into place. I had a lot of men in my life that I was able to grab things from. They didn't do everything right, and they told me, "Hey, this ain't right." So, okay, cool. I know that's not right. I'm not going to deal with that. If I get into that situation and I see you go through it, I know what not to do. Now,
Mhm.
if I have that information in my mind and I ignore it, then that's on me. So that means now I got to go back and look in the mirror and say, okay, why did I do that? Understand why I did what I did. So you definitely want to make sure, and you don't want to ignore the weaknesses because those are just as important as the strengths. Because those weaknesses allow people to end up being who they are and having the faults that they have and having the flaws that they have. So you want to be able to understand that they're never going to be able to truly overcome them, uh, overnight. But through time, they kind of understand them better, so they don't allow those weaknesses to be a detriment. So I agree with both y'all, man. I ain't gonna really put too much saying. Ty hit it right on the head, and so did you, Bruce. So that is what it is, man.
We just stumbled onto something. I'm gonna keep going.
Okay.
Do mentors have a shelf life?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, Ty, quick. Do mentors have a shelf life in your eyes?
Uh, I think it depends.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave it right there.
Does a mentor have a line where it goes from mentor to op?
Oh, yes, in some
Because
cases.
it's okay.
Boy, was that a turn.
All right. In the case where the person that you mentored throughout this time has now become a competitor of yours, how should that mentor, in your eyes, maneuver? Should they still look at them as a mentor? Like as a mentee, or should they now go into opposition mode?
I feel like if you're gonna hold the title of a mentor, you should be that, no matter what it is. I've had I've had people come up under me as a mentee, uh, and they have left me to go to other locations, which would mean competition. Um, but if that person were to call me, it's still a mentor. It's still a mentee to me, unless that person wants that relationship to change. But how we started is how I would like to finish. Again, unless that mentee sees different, sees that he or she isn't getting what they want from me since they've grown to another height, since they've moved over, and that's fine. But I don't think it should ever transition into that type of relationship because of how it started. That actually means you did a good job, right? You should be happy. You shouldn't. I mean, that's what you want. That's the purpose of being a mentor, to help someone grow. Now, when they grow and you want to chop them down or you want to go up against them, I don't really know if you're a mentor.
Okay. Okay. Mike.
No, well, see, that's cool, but I think the role of a mentor is you are when you train somebody, the goal is to make sure that they are better than you. Because what happens is if you got a bunch of carbon copies walking around,
Yep.
then what is that? What good does that serve? Right now, I understand your
Hmm.
point. If you are a mentor to someone and you have a mentee, and they get into the level where they're equal playing field with you, right? That's a moment I can be proud of. Now, if you're the opposition, that's cool. Like we can
Exactly.
battle, we can have a friendly competition. We can do it. So I'm gonna allow you to do that. You come to me for advice, I'm gonna give it to you. But I also want to make sure too that you understand. Listen, I can't do this forever. I can't be in this position, so I gotta pay it forward. You gotta be
Hmm.
able to take that position and run with it now. Because at a certain point in time, what people don't realize is they hang on too long. And when you hang on
Ooh.
to something too long, you tend to feel like you're empowered. No, because guess what? Somebody can replace your old ass. Everybody's replaceable. This ain't no, hey man, I'm gonna be in this spot for a long time. No, the hell you not. Because when that young hot shot come in, woo, he gonna be nice and pretty with a little bow on top. They gonna get your ass up out of there. But guess what? You gotta understand and let your ego know that's cool. Because I know I've had my time. Now it's time for me to pay it forward to let somebody else do that. I can instill in them the perfect, not perfect, but I can instill in them the right measures, mythologies, characteristics. You guys make your own way. But as a mentor, if I mentor you and you surpass me, I'm proud of that because you know what that says? I did my job. We can become competition. We can do whatever we
Yeah.
want. When it's my time to go, I'm going to go. Now you got to do it. The juice is in your court now, player. What are you going to do with it?
Do y'all think this is something you? Because y'all both taking a similar stance on it. The stances that y'all are taking in that opposition, because I've seen it in other cultures,
Mm,
where somebody has mentored someone so well that they become the competition. In other cultures, I've seen it where they don't go and try to cut them at the knees. In my culture, in our culture, we have seen it where they try to cut them at the knees.
every time.
Is that unique to us? Is that unique to situation? Is that like what's some of the feedback on that? Because Coca-Cola and Pepsi exist. These banks exist. These 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 industries where where it was one and then there was five usually starts off where everybody worked at the one
Yeah.
and they won the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Microsoft, Apple.
Same. I was about to go there. Yeah. Yeah.
But you don't see them ever try to cut. They try to make sure they're the best, but you don't see them make attempts at trying to cut you at the knees. You can exist, but we working over here. However, with us, we see more often than not that they would rather try to knock you off the pedestal. All money mine. You can't live out here no more. You taught me the game. Now you got to get your, like Mike said, you got to get your old ass up off the block.
It's it's interesting because I think I don't know where that comes from, whether that just comes from us.
I tell
Eh,
you where it come from. It come from not having it.
yeah. Yeah.
Nepotism is something that's new to our people.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Whereas, like as a mentor, I want you to be my competition. That means I did a great job. And that means also that we can also collaborate together to make something bigger, if
Mhm.
possible, if needed. If we all in real estate, all right, let me take it to real estate. Let's do this. All right. I'm in real estate. I own some commercial property. Tyrone, you want to get on and you want to understand how I'm doing what I'm doing. You like the way I maneuver, you like my swag, you like how accomplished I am in this industry. But we in a small town. I teach you how to do what I'm doing. You grab everything that I've experienced, you grab even the negative stuff. Well, dang, Bruce is doing this. I wouldn't do it that way. This is how I would do it. So then you branch out and do it on your own. You start in the same town, small town still. And now we bidding on the same properties. You grab and you starting to get some of my properties. And my thing to you is, man, I like what you're doing over there. I see you. I see you, little bro. But I got some ideas for us though.
Mm.
Would you go and sit at the table? Or would you just still be like, nah, he trying to get in, he see what I'm doing. He trying to get in, let me go ahead and knock him off. Because I would see other people in this scenario say, nah, he gotta go. We gotta knock him down. But I got a sense of
Mm.
feeling that what you gonna say.
I'm definitely coming to the table. I'm definitely coming to the table because you said small town. Well, the last time I looked at the globe, it's way bigger than a small town. So if we doing so great at this, why can't we take it to another small town and another small town and another small town? So then it seems like, well, it don't seem like we become a form of a Microsoft and an Apple or whatever the analogy you want to use. There's two bigger fish working together to conquer more ground. I mean, you can only conquer so much ground with with your staff. You're gonna have to grow at some point if you want to get bigger. So why not grow with the person that helped you get to your well, not your plateau, but the point that you're at. It seems that there was a good working relationship there, and you learned from them. So why am I not gonna entertain that?
You know why?
It just to me in my mindset,
You
it's
know
a no
what just
brainer.
came to my mind, man? It goes back to how we started this topic. It's people listening to their heart and not listening to this too.
Yeah,
Mm. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
yeah.
Because unfortunately, we've been raised in fear.
yes,
To fear the things that you
yep,
cannot control, to fear the things that you cannot expect. Like the unexpected, people panic and change. We've seen it
Mhm.
today. Like it's broad day, all day on TV. You can go turn on the news. They're gonna show you about fear. They're gonna show you about fear. So we raising fear
Yep.
and we thinking, oh, they trying to take my spot. They trying to take a like, no, I'm trying to exist. We can exist together. Matter of fact, if we had exist together and say, hey, look, man, let's get this together. Let's do a project together. We can exist even bigger and make other people be able to exist as well. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I'm about to get off my soapbox, man. But I think this is a good. These are the conversations we should be having.
yeah,
Period.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
just think about this for example, athletes. They can have their own league. We can have our own league. We had them at one point in time, right? But they didn't use their heart to try to do what's right. They used their mind and said, "I got to get this cash." Same thing with our music and entertainment industries. We can have our own studio houses. We can have our own production companies. We people can collaborate more. We can have our own Warner Brothers, Universal. We have people that are in that position to do that. Some people just kind of be like, "Nah, I'm cool." But we need to be in a space where we need to collab as well too. Like we need people to be on both sides of the fence. And I think we've said this on this podcast before. It's too many Chiefs and not enough Indians. Like we need people to kind of just play their position as well too. And I think that go back to the point that Ty
All
mentioned.
right.
And I mean, I'm gonna let you go when
Yeah. No,
but
no, no,
it
no,
all
no. You good.
depends
You
on the
good. You good.
person too. Because that scenario that Bruce laid out, both of y'all are the individuals I would expect to have that conversation. I don't know many other people that would really want to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's that's where the difference comes in.
It's all fair. But go ahead. What you about to say, Ty?
I was just gonna say, man, I hate that it's us, but it's also a population of brothers and sisters that look like us that don't appeal to be able to take on the responsibility that comes with these positions. So even in my little world here, I've got people that I could have helped been promoted, but they not doing what they supposed to do where they're at right now. So I'm not gonna put my name and your name. I'm not gonna mix my name with yours when you're not doing what you're supposed to do here to get you to where you want to go, because it's gonna make me look like I don't know what talent looks like, and I'm not bringing the right people to the table to speak to get other opportunities. It's the ones that they show up late, they want the world, they not performing to their full potential. They got all of these negative things in their minds about why they don't do certain things. And I'm like, well, dude, I've been right there, but I didn't have the same mentality. I took on extra responsibility that I wasn't paid for, but I knew where it could get me. And people not having that mindset, they want it now, and they don't want to necessarily work and get low to get high. It's just like, why am I wasting my time? I'm not I didn't build my name up to this point, and you expect me to come down to get you or to reach out. I ain't gonna say come down to get you, to reach out and say, hey, come up here with us. But you're not even doing the basics. You ain't even putting your name on the test when you sitting there taking the
That's the first thing
SAT.
they taught you.
You get points for that.
That's the first thing they taught you.
So
Mhm.
you done already missed the
Yep.
basics. The basics. And if you ain't got the basics, why are we talking?
Yeah.
Why are
Yeah.
we talking?
And truth be told, we honestly need a combination of people that sometimes we gotta let people fall by the wayside, but we also gotta have people that's gonna be there, that's gonna have the time and the energy to spend to lift those people up. Because they're gonna have to let them sit for a minute and kind of like you're gonna have to hit this wall. Now, when you hit this wall, somebody gonna be right there to pick you up and to help rebuild you back up so you can go across that wall. And I think I think what
Yeah.
happens is now this is in the society that we're in now. Everybody's like, nah, man, I gotta go get it myself because I did it. You gotta go do it the same way. So sometimes we need some people that's gonna take that sacrifice and say, you know what, I'm here. But I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna stay here to watch y'all when you fall. And when you fall, I'm gonna help you get back up because that's the sacrifice that I'm gonna make because I understand what our community needs. And sometimes it's not just us; it's some other communities as well too. But primarily, it is us because Bruce alluded to it earlier. We didn't have anything. We were stripped of everything when we got here, and we still haven't gotten what we've had at one point in time. So we have to do better at that as a community in a whole. And sometimes that means getting out of our own way and understanding that we do have that fear, but we also need to show that love. That love's got to be over the hate. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Man, but it's also a little bit of over sensationalization going on with these people, these self-made people.
Oh my
You know what
God,
I mean?
yeah.
Like that's something I want to.
I don't understand the self-made
It's a
thing.
lie first because
Yeah,
you
'cause
don't
how
get to it like these certain levels of places people get to that you don't get. You can't reach on your own.
Bro, it's a it's a
You
right.
it's a
you know what I mean? Like you can't call yourself self-made and
Is it
have a
because
people a team that work underneath you. Like you didn't do it all your own.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
it's a contradiction of itself. But I mean, and
I don't know what that
the reason
yeah,
why I wanted to bring that up
yeah,
right now,
yeah.
man, is because I'm seeing a lot of people, a lot of youth
mm,
applying pressure on themselves that is unrealistic. Like I know I'm a firm person who does a lot of reading and researching on numbers. You know what I mean? I know that we didn't just get a past all this money. You know what I mean? For no reason. Everybody want to say, man, I want somebody who make like it's been some arguments on other podcasts I've listened to. People talking about, man, they got to make 150. You know how rare 150 grand is as an individual in this world today. But if you looked at your social medias, you thought you swear everybody was getting at least 150, $200,000.
everybody got $1 million in the bank, boy. They got here riding Rolls Royce, Mercedes, CLK 550s. They out here making it,
You know
boy.
what I mean? They look like they got all this money, but they don't absolutely don't. I mean, I was just out here in the car market. So I looked at, you know what I mean? I was looking at leasing. You know, that's what everybody was talking about, man, you got to lease a car, you got to lease a car. You know what I mean? It's no waste of money to buy
Yeah.
something. Okay. I went out there and looked at them. I'm like, I ain't even in like BMW, Land Rover, Mercedes. I ain't even go to them yet. You know what I mean? I'm just at the regular, like the Honda company, looking at what they offering for something. I felt like, oh man, I deserve this. That's another thing, another problem social media give you. They give you that whole mentality of you deserve something. Deserve it for what? For working? You deserve you deserve to work harder for what you want to get. You know what I mean? But anyway, I seen them numbers that came back for them leases. And I'm like, bro, there's people out here spending that much money on a lease to live like no, to present themselves as if they have a lifestyle that they actually don't own. You renting your life. You know what I mean? And you paying a lot of money for it.
Yeah, they rent
You know what I mean?
they rent their life for the public to fund their lifestyle. It's a lot. It's to me, yo. I don't want to sound like the old dude, but I'm kind of getting sick and tired of people charging for information that you can get on your own for free.
Well, the reason why they do that is because never mind. I ain't gonna say it.
Uh,
The reason why we were raised a different way.
Facts.
If we didn't know something, we didn't have when we was in earliest grade school, we didn't have the opportunity to just get on the computer and look it up. Boy, what I
Yeah.
would have paid when I was in the younger schools, when before I was, you know what I mean, before the internet hit like it hit, I would have paid to have Google when Ask Jeeves was the thing. The
Mm.
Google that the kids got today, because remember, we had to use Ask. You had to go to ask.com and it gave you a bunch of it gave you a bunch of information written by somebody else.
Yep. Yep.
There was no
Mm.
actual
Yep.
fact checking of anything back then. Today, bro, you can find out anything you want on the internet. Today, we had to go to encyclopedia. We had to go to the library. You know what I mean? Then you had to
Yeah.
read the book. Took you a couple of days, depending on how the size
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I hope you was reading and taking notes because oh boy, don't just be reading and not taking the notes. You gotta reread it.
Yep.
You don't waste your damn time.
If you,
I read this. I
you know what
still
I
don't
At
know
mean?
least
what's
been the
up.
corner of the page though. At least been the corner of the
Yeah.
page so you know what page to get back to. You can get back to that.
But you
Yeah.
gotta unfortunately you got a lot of people out here who they want to be given to them.
They don't want to do the
So
work.
what Ty was saying,
Yeah.
they want you to give it to them.
Yep.
And you mentioned that, Mike, about the people, man, where I made it on my own. If I go and teach myself something, I'm not gonna teach you just because you want to learn it. Because you say you want to learn it. Because everybody say they want to do something. I want to start a business. I want to do this. I want to do that.
Mm.
But when it start to
Mm.
work, when it's work time,
I gotta get
hey
my
man, I'm
sleep, man. I
tired.
gotta wake up in
Man,
the
I've been
morning.
up all day. You know what I mean? My
Yeah.
back hurt. Man,
Yeah.
man, but it's just Friday, man. I'm gonna go out a little bit.
You find out how much them dreams
Yeah.
really mean.
Everybody was chasing it. It was a team no sleep.
Yeah.
Just
Oh
sleeping your ass all
man.
day.
Uh-huh.
You getting up at noon
Oh,
talking
damn.
about team no sleep.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, you don't wasted a day.
But that's the thing that's being taught to this youth. And they applying pressure to themselves that for things that ain't real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not knowing that, oh man, you can go to Enterprise and rent a 5 series and tell the world that's yours.
Just don't show that window, no smoking signs, and I got you.
That's it. That's it. That's it. You read the car.
And then,
Listen,
Take the picture in the front.
but but that's the
I'm
thing.
done.
You
I'm done.
look, they changed it up now.
Let me
They
mute.
they even tinting them out now. So they look, you can go to some rental services. You can fake the funk if you wanted it.
Yeah, you can't. You got to pay
They're like,
extra.
dang man, he got a new car all the time. Yeah, I'm out here grinding. Oh, you not?
bruh,
You out here waiting for that next
bruh. I know that
paycheck.
stoplight. Like that's Enterprise on the corner. Like what you doing?
I know
I
where
know where
you
you at, bruh.
at.
People out here, man,
Yeah.
they always traveling, man. But what they don't see is they traveling, but they on Spirit. They can't bring no bags with them.
Oh, they in a heap of debt because they keep getting them charge cards.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's. I just wanted to mention that I'm an old man, man. I'm old, so whatever. I just wanted to get something to those people who, if they are listening, hey, look, man, you ain't gotta just because they faking it, bruh. The person, the better one is the one that's quiet, who ain't showing it off. That's the person with the power.
Yeah, they really got it,
Yeah,
or getting to
yeah.
it to get it. They can be in it, and that's another thing I like about them because you don't necessarily know what they're
Hmm.
doing. So it sets up for a conversation, which I found those individuals don't mind
Hmm.
talking as long as you're not wasting their time. Now, don't come to them with no 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 beginner questions, right? Because they know you're not really
Or if you
interested.
do come with the beginner question, retain the answer.
Yeah.
Cause boy,
Yeah.
ain't nothing more knowing that
I'm saying don't come with the how do I be like, no, like
sometimes though, that's how it is though. Because you know what?
I need a little
Sometimes
bit
the
more.
people who got it, the reason why they get it is because they ask other people who got it, what do you do?
Yeah.
If you don't
Yeah.
have the information, I can't fault you for not having the information. You know what I
Nah,
mean?
you're right.
I think that's
You're right.
a stigma we got to break too. Is that we got to stop being scared to ask somebody something that we don't know. You don't know.
It's okay not to know. You
Yeah.
can find it out. It's okay.
But it's all in the approach.
Yeah, but people got
It's
to be
all in the
comfortable
approach.
with that. They got to be
Yep.
comfortable with
Yeah.
that. They got to be comfortable with not knowing and not trying to go off their ego. Like you got to leave that at the door. You want to learn something, you
Yeah.
definitely got to leave that at home.
You gotta the only
Leave
way
that
you
at home.
find out the right books to read is somebody who read them and they apply some of that work for them. Hey man, you should read this book, man. This is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
This is what got me
Mhm.
it's like I started making these decisions this way. Helped me out a lot. Help me, it might help you out some. And that's how they gonna phrase it to you. It might help you out. Because what worked for me
Yeah,
don't
there
work
ain't
for
no
you necessarily.
guarantee. Exactly.
Now I'm up, look, man. I said I was not gonna be up here talking all this time.
Nah,
I
listen.
done did.
Hey,
Yeah,
you
we
Did
talking that
not
talk, brother?
talk.
nah. They need to hear that. They need to hear that, bro. They need to hear it more often.
Yeah.
Because I'll give y'all an example, and then uh, voiceover is a big thing now, and I think Clubhouse has a lot to do with that too, right? So I actually reached out. No, seriously, because they be getting on there just talking like that's they be using their
Yeah.
voice. That's what they do. So I actually hit up two people. I had two coaches. I had one was a black female, one was a black male. Hit them both up. The black female responded first. I hadn't heard back from her. I hit her back. She told me to hit back in a week, and I did. Didn't hear back from her. So it's cool. Hit the dude up. He responded, and I was persistent with him because he was kind of going back and forth. So I said, cool. I finally got a chance to touch base with him, and to you guys' point, he was just like, look, this might not work for me. This might work for you, but it worked for me. But here's the information. Here's where to go. Here's what you need to do. And guess what? I'm gonna help coach you along that way. So it's kind of everybody's different. Like we've always said, it's everybody's different. You got to trust your mind and your heart to know which way to go. And that's kind of the premise what we really talking about today is trusting yourself, trusting your mind and your heart, and letting them work together, and knowing who to trust and knowing who not to. And that goes
Mhm.
along with following either one of those powerful pieces of master you got in your body.
I would also say too, like, get the experience for yourself before you knock off a resource.
Mm.
A lot of people will talk bad about certain platforms and certain areas to go, and "Nah, I didn't get nothing out of that, man. You wasting your time." Like, you need to get that experience for yourself because you never know. You don't know what approach that
Yeah.
person took. You don't know if they
Facts.
really dived in and really, really figure it out. But there's something to be found everywhere. It just might not be for that person. But when that person find it, they should use that statement. Hey, this worked for me, may not work for you, but try it out.
Yeah.
So
Facts.
you gotta try it out.
Yeah.
It's all about how many times I'm gonna fail to get it right. You ain't gonna get it right on the first go. But if you're willing to fail enough, at some point it's gonna
Gonna
change
click.
over for you. You just gotta be persistent.
That's how this podcast is. We started out with them cheap mics. We didn't know what we were doing on Skype. Sounding crazy.
It's a
Now
fact.
we got video. We still working. We got video. We got nice mics. sound quality is like, dang, boy, people be reaching out. It sounds so good, man.
Yeah.
And if they was real, I'll give it to them. But a lot of times people just be inquisitive. They just be asking just to be asked.
Mm,
Right.
yeah.
But you know what I mean? If somebody really wanted to learn, man, go ahead, hit my line. I got you. You ain't gotta get no money on spend that money on road. I can show you how to do it for the low. You know what I mean? I'm gonna teach you with my heart. You know what I mean?
Word up.
Just bring your head to
Word
learn it though.
up.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
Bars.
That's dope.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
dope.
But I mean, you know, man. We gonna get to it, man. Any last things we want to mention up, man, for voiceover Mike come on the mic.
Here we go. Here we go.
I'm waiting to turn on TV and that Ford commercial come on. And here go Mike sound like common sense.
Hey yo.
Excel fast. Excel
Yo.
forward.
Hey, we
That's
gonna
cool.
know
That's
who it
cool.
is too, goddamn.
That's cool. That's cool.
Ain't gonna be no question.
And I'm surprised he ain't dropped one yet for the pod, man. We waiting, man. Can we get it for free? Why you can get it for cheap?
Yeah,
Word.
don't hit us with the
Nah. Y'all
first
can
one
get the
up.
high quality.
Better hurry
Y'all
up.
can, y'all can get the high quality. Don't worry about that. I got y'all. You already know what it is.
You ain't gonna
Y'all know what it
tear
is.
us, are you? You ain't gonna tear us. The good, the better, the best. You got you ain't gonna tear the cost out you.
Nah, man. Y'all get the 5-finger discount, but everybody else gonna have to pay. Everybody else gonna have to come off their pocket and have to cut the check. You know what I mean? That's all. That's all.
That's what's up. I
Hey,
like
he
it.
said he ain't giving
like
y'all that Fiverr product, boy.
Nah, listen, if y'all want 5G, y'all gotta pay for it. If y'all want 5G, y'all gotta pay for that. So yeah. No, I'm
Man.
good, man. I ain't got nothing else, man. I just want to appreciate y'all. You know what I mean? Y'all my brothers. Y'all know what's been going on the last couple of weeks, man. So I just appreciate y'all, man. It's all love.
Hey man, that's what brothers is for.
Yeah, you can
Yep.
count on that, man. You can continue to count on that, brother.
1000%. 1000%.
Yep. Before we close out, man, I ain't gonna say it too loud, man. But Ty, you ain't low. I see you.
Whoa,
I see you.
whoa. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Clearly too.
I'm
Yeah.
just let me know when I come get my drop.
Yeah, hey, when it's time to get loud, we're gonna be real loud, baby. That's all I got to say.
That's what I like to hear.
I'm doing my homework right now.
Hey.
That's what I like to hear. We getting Kid Cudi high.
Oh hey. Hey.
Let's
Oh,
just
man.
make sure the kids go to school on Monday.
All right, let's
And
get off
on
of
that
here.
note, man, on that note, thank y'all for listening to another installment of the Whiskey and Wisdom podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in episode 6. You can follow us on all our social media accounts. Instagram at Whiskey and Wisdom Pod. Twitter, Whiskey and Wiz, WISD1. Also, make sure y'all go subscribe. Check us out on SoundCloud, Whiskey and Wisdom Podcast. Spotify, Whiskey and Wisdom Podcast. And Apple Podcasts, Whiskey and Wisdom Podcast. Also, while y'all at it, if y'all listening, man, go out and rate the podcast, man. We see we got 5 stars on Apple Music. Get them numbers up. We need to get them numbers up as much as we can. So we appreciate y'all. All the returning listeners for listening. All the new listeners, appreciate y'all. And welcome to the family. We got more stuff coming on the way. Till next time, my brothers Tyrone and Bruce. This is Mike. We are the Whiskey and Wisdom Podcast. Peace.
Peace.